Hello, and once again welcome back to my City Skylines series, Fangchenggang region. So we're in part 5, I think, if I'm not completely wrong, and today we're getting kind of into the future, I would call it. Why I would call it like this is pretty simple, because we're getting a future touch into our series. And we're actually in episode 6, I'm terribly sorry, so welcome to episode 6. But we will be placing down this huge skyscraper there, and this will be kind of the middle of our downtown, and this will be kind of packed with commercials, I would say, and packed with advertisement. And the reason for this is that I think that this is something that is extremely cool looking, and this is giving this unique future touch, I would say. So although that is right now said future quite a lot, don't be scared, I don't want to make a future series. This one will be in series that will be in the now time, or maybe about 5 to 10 years in the future. So it will be kind of stuff from the future, so maybe some more packed and cramped stuff, but not so extremely, so you don't want to have any hovering cars or stuff like this. But yeah, today we're mainly building a small part of the main road and we're detailing it. And for detailing I am going with a very simple thing of just putting advertisement all about the streets. So it's on top, it's on the side, it's basically everywhere, and this is something that I think is very cool. And yes, so here right now you can see me just building buildings around our biggest building that will be getting very, I think I would actually call it very central to the most central building in the whole area of our city. And the reason for this is that I think that it's very cool looking, and what I mean with very cool looking is it's kind of this dystopian feeling to it, because it's having these very dark areas for the balconies, and it's just like they look very unused. And this is maybe something that is due to the pollution of the air and stuff like this, so I thought, yeah, we will definitely take something in like this. And this isn't this kind of extremely bad city, I would say, also not the extremely bad nature and stuff like this, so there will be definitely better parts of the city where there's a lot of green, and just like the things that we did in the last episode with this very cool looking parking lot, and also how we call it, I think apartment blocks? Not apartment blocks, so it's basically just a living community, and I think this looks very cool, and I would definitely build more stuff like this. There also, you reminded me, with you I especially mean John the Wizard, try Singapore for inspiration. These guys make amazing stuff combined with greenery, so yes, this is definitely a thing that I will be doing. And this is just something that I think is looking very cool, where we have something kind of this fluently looking and this with wavy looks with a lot of curves and not so many straight generic stuff. So this will definitely be something that I will be aiming for when I'm building the city. And yes, in this episode, as I already said, I just want to split up the whole talking stuff more into the video, so I don't want to make some that are extremely long in one, just kind of in one area, and they will be, how should I say this, I think they will be just split in more and more in the middle of the video. And with this I mean I will just leave you for now, and I will return in some minutes when I will have to tell what I'm doing there, because I'm doing quite some important stuff later on, but right now I'm just placing parking lots, so I will rejoin you once I've finished the parking lots and once we're building something different. And yes, if you've already watched the video to this part, I would appreciate if you'd consider liking this video and also subscribing to me if you're new to my channel. It helps me quite a lot, and it helps me to kind of grow my channel. So I'm back once again and we're building the monorail. And this is something that I think is looking very cool, and it is just making it some more like one additional different height for a city. And what I mean with this is we have a new transport, and this is just very positive for a city, in especially every single idea that I have about it, because it is just giving us better public transport, it gives us better traffic, and it just makes the city look very cool and very aesthetic in my opinion. So yes, there I'm just adding it in, and it isn't that high, it is pretty low. And the thought of this is that I may want to have a highway above this one. So not a highway, an expressway actually, I'm sorry. So there may be an expressway that is going right above this one, and it will be going into the kind of other street there, so it will be splitting off at some point and then rejoining it and stuff like this. So just kind of to use the space more better and in a better idea, so that it is used. So that's just in better use, I would say. I'm trying to say something and I don't know what, so I will just keep it like this. And there I had a struggle with how I want to have the beams, the support pillars, because at first I want to have them in the middle, but this isn't possible because it's above a street. So we will definitely have some points where it's in the middle and where it's just on the median of the street, and just going there, because I think this is just a space that we could be using for this one. Because there the huge disadvantage is with these pillars that are going to the side, we are using some space that they could have been using for kind of living space, or an area where they could build something in. And yes, the good thing about them is you can elevate them above streets, and this just gives me the possibility to just move them above the street and kind of have more space for building, as I already said. So this is just another point that supported in the other one. And at this point I just want to say sorry, because I haven't uploaded a video Wednesday. This one should go up on Thursday, if I'm not completely wrong, because right now it's Wednesday. I just didn't got any time. I have 2 hard exams next week and I just have to learn for them. So I'm sorry that there wasn't a video in the regular schedule, but we will be returning to this one soon. I'm not actually sure if there will be a video this week on Sunday. It will definitely depends on how much I've learned and how it worked out for me. And yes, there is the first one driving, and this is the wrong one, so we'll switch to the one that Ronnie did, because they're just awesome. So these are the vanilla ones, but we'll switch them off right there. I'm back again way sooner than I thought, but we are starting off with the first advertisement, and I thought I want to say something about why there is this advertisement and why I thought it would be a cool idea to just place it there. And for this one, my thoughts were that the reason that you use advertisements is to kind of show people what you're doing and what your shop is doing. And kind of to show this the best is to have them high in the air, just so that you can see them from everywhere. And so I thought definitely the highest building in this whole area definitely will have a lot of them in. And so I thought about, yes, we will go extremely crazy with them and just kind of get in a very cool look, I think. And yes, it is just like very cool for me just to build it like this, because it is quite hard for me. We have this kind of guardrail on the bottom where the people can go about it and around it, and then you have the advertisement, and I'm kind of in a struggle that I want to keep it realistic so that you have a lot of kind of beams behind it that are just holding it up, but I don't want to have everything full of beams, but I think it worked out in the end and it works out pretty well. And there I've thought that I could use some pathways, but sadly they all don't look like I want them to look, so I've used props that I've downloaded from Steam Workshop, but I'm actually trying to make some by myself, but they will just need some more time, I think. And this is also the first episode where I'm using PO in this series, I'm sorry. And we're just using it for a beam to trying to getting it in a different height and to switch it off a bit, but it wasn't working out, so I'm using it just for small guardrails, but I think they are enough for now, and we will definitely be using it more for living residentials, together with the ones from Acroas, the invisible houses, I think they were called. Wait, I'm searching the command. It is from Stegar. BTW Acroas made some buildings that are just small boxes that you can hide inside of POs. Maybe access to the building is the main reason you converted to PO in the first place too. Well, my thoughts on PO are that I want to use it kind of also sometimes to just move in a building where I want it, as I already said, and for the entrance, this is quite a good idea because I can elevate them and I can make an entrance on top of it, so that we don't have the problem that they're kind of flying through the air, and just kind of getting this error mistake fixed. And yeah, actually in Discord, I think it was Lars that has said that it would be a cool idea to have a parking lot elevated in the air. And I think this is an awesome idea, and we will definitely do something like this. This will maybe a huge parking garage and fully custom one, but I'm kind of already trying it out, but I'm not at the point that I would say that I want to get it into my city because it's not that well looking like I wanted to do. So there you can see me just working out with PO because the pillars would go all the way to the bottom, and I don't want this, so I've switched this off then there. And yep, it is just like for me thinking the advertisement would definitely have some support beneath it and maybe also above it, and this is what we're doing there, and it is just plopping POs and making something kind of small platforms with these ones there and just getting it in to look very cool. A big problem that I think is about all of my series is kind of the realism of the sustainable resource use and the sustainable economics, I would say, from my cities, and this is something that I want to switch off, so I would definitely work on a huge power plant and a huge water reservoir just to keep it more realistic and not like in Artist where I just had these small invisible generators everywhere. I literally had at least one every house block, and I don't want to have this once again. We will be building a very big power plant, I think, in one of the next episodes. It will be kind of... It may be also having something like a small story behind it, so that we have also maybe an abandoned reactor or something like this, just something crazy steampunkish like thing where you maybe have some houses on the side of it, or actually also maybe inside of an old abandoned one. And just kind of get this in this very fancy looking city with a lot of modern buildings and this suddenly dystopian look. I think this would be fitting in quite well, and I would definitely try out to do more stuff with it. Also, I just want to make with PO just a station for the kind of for the stations, for the train and for the monorail. This is the name that I searched, monorail. And it will be inside of buildings, so there will be suddenly a hole in the building and you will kind of have the side of it used just for, how should I call it? It would just be used for a train to go through it, or maybe in it and park in it and then just suddenly go out on another side. So just get in something fancy like this, and also maybe a highway frame building. And I actually have to say I got this out of an idea. I got this idea out of an episode from Neo Tokyo, I think the series is called. It is extremely cool. It is so cool what he's doing, and it is just an awesome style that he's kind of doing there. Or she, I don't know if it's in he or in she, because he isn't doing a voiceover. I'm assuming he is a boy, but I'm not sure about this, so correct me if you know it. And yes. And this whole ways will be on different heights, and just kind of to get an interesting look for it. And it kind of looks misplaced right now because the whole other buildings don't have it in there, but they will have something similar around it and just something kind of very similar to this style. So, I'm back once again, and I'm back while building this huge billboard. It is so incredibly big, but I think this is just a very cool thing, and this was just very cool for detailing, and so I thought, yes, I would be doing it. And at first wanted to do it with 2 smaller advertisements, but then I thought, nope, this is such a big place, it will be from Coca-Cola, it will be a huge advertisement. It is just so incredibly huge when you look at the size of the other buildings, and I think this is exactly what I wanted to go for, and so I thought, yes, we will be doing it like this, and it is turning out very well in my opinion. And I'm sorry that I'm laughing all the time, but I think it's looking well, but I think it's also kind of silly to have some huge ones like this, but I kind of wanted to have something like the future for it. And then there, I was just thinking maybe it would be kind of funny to have an advertisement for Pepsi right next to it, but then I thought, no, we would do it for cigarettes and cigars. So yes, I've switched it up a bit, but I think the whole thing is just a thing of unhealthy stuff and Rolex advertisement, because we have Coca-Cola, we have something like a burger shop, we have, how is it another one called? And we just have cigarettes. So this is just kind of the tower of unhealthiness, I think we could call it. But yep, I'm very happy with how it turned out. It looks very dystopian in my opinion, and it just gives me the possibility of just building something incredibly fancy in my opinion. And this look from this side isn't finished in any way. There will be buildings before it, and this was the reason that I haven't showed anything in the cinematics out of this kind of view, because I'm not happy with the space before it. So maybe there would be a huge parking garage. I think this could be fitting in there well, or maybe just some normal buildings, but I'm unsure about that. So I can actually tell you what we will be doing in the next episode, and this is backyard detailing. I'm finally back with detailing backyards. The reason for this is that I want to finish off kind of some squares in the city so that I can say at least I have some of them finished. And I'm just kind of finishing them off with placing some gardens and placing some parking lots, and we will be doing this all over the city, although it will be more parking lots than gardens, and this is just something that I think that will be fitting in the style. And yeah, it is also just like that the school is looking very generic and very, although also very beautiful, so it definitely would be a school where I would like to go to, but it is just something that I think is, how should I call it? It is just not looking like a very futuristic stuff, but I think this is also okay. As already said, it shouldn't be too futuristic, and so we definitely have some futuristic stuff and futuristic, I would call it, styles in it, but not completely futuristic. And every time reloading there is something kind of a weird bug with the street, so I just have to move the street for something kind of a millimeter to the side, and suddenly it works once again. So I don't know what is happening there, but it's happening, so we will have to work around it, I think, and just move every little node once in some seconds, or maybe also just all of them kind of 1 millimeter to the side or something like this. And yes, we will be just finishing off this small area there and the street before it, and this will be it for this episode. So I just wanted to say thank you for watching, and as I already said, please give this video a like, it helps me quite a lot. And if you want to see more of this series and want to stay up to date, you can subscribe to me. It helps me a lot. We are very close to 300 subs, and I would just love to get them in the next, I would say, 2 or 3 weeks. So yes, thank you for watching, hopefully you have a great day, and see you in another video. Bye!